Coming for you, laddie!
Something. I seeing Raijin. Yeah, Raijin's pretty interesting. Mitch, wanna fill me in on why you think Raijin could be okay?
I don't particularly. If I'm gonna have to guess now with this Horizon, I feel like it's a comfort bit because mages as a class right now aren't too particularly strong, and their item paths haven't really been figured out yet. And Raijin hasn't really been meta for a substantial amount of time now. Like he's been pushed out since he got nerfed. His ult doesn't do that much damage anymore. His base kit doesn't really do that much damage. So
Are you
I'm
ready
gonna
to
assume this
ride
is
the
a
lightning?
comfort pick because I'm a bit unsure of the Raijin pick personally.
Yeah, it's completely understandable as this second phase of picks and bans come out. It's again kind of normal stuff, usual stuff. Focusing heavily, heavily on these jungles. I believe quad ban, both teams double banning the jungle role. Hebo, Neja, Lance, Hunbats, all gods that we saw in the SWC. All gods who I presume are still very strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, their items haven't really been necessarily changed. There's a lot of farm on the map, so it's understandable why they're going to come back. And then I think both jungles have been picked here with the Ravana
Sound
and
the drums of war!
And Set is interesting in jungle. I mean, he can be played in multiple different roles, and judging from Egypt's comp right
No
now,
god
it
nor
looks
demon
like it's
can
gonna be jungle,
defeat
the area
me.
support, the Guan Yu solo, and the Raijin mid, unless it's a Set ADC. But Set is dependent on the player. It can be extremely aggressive. It could be a big playmaker, has a lot of sustain, a lot of damage. So makes sense. The issue is that it might come down to a lot of CC because Kakolan can knock him up. Athena has a taunt. Uluran now being hovered over for WODL. So that can really disrupt the Set's game plan. So it's interesting to see where that goes. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's Ravana, who a lot of dive potential, a lot of damage. However, he's a lot safer than Set, to say the least. He has CC immunity and 2 abilities, as well as point only by beads, so a lot of a safer pick from Waddle.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a safer pick.
I will vanquish all evil from this
I
world.
just kind of assumed that it was going to go mid, right? But it's looking like it isn't, which begs the question of still the ADC role is open for Egypaleyria. And Waddle having their comp figured out, ending it with this Yu Huang and very safe god. Do you think that you'd want to see Set jungle as we see a hover coming out?
Well, I mean, I feel like if you're going to pick Set jungle, I don't think first booking's the way to go because now it looks like Waddle have built a comp around where it's going to be. He's not going to be able to find safe picks.
Yeah. Is looking like it is going to be a Set jungle. Jingwei hovered and locked in. Jingwei is a god who I thought is in a better spot than she was last year for sure. Just not exactly in the strongest spot. I do think there was quite a few ADCs open that I would have rather had picked, specifically the CERN, but it is going to be interesting seeing kind of how everything's working. This Ishtar, though, is going to bring a lot of pressure, and it's going to be interesting seeing what that pressure goes into Jingwei and if Bob can handle it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm too confident into the Jingwei pick personally because, first of all, crit isn't really a good stat currently. Crit just isn't that. Hold on.
Yeah, crit.
Yes, sorry. Crit is just a weird stat at the moment, and the current ADC build is more attack speed pen, which necessarily isn't a Jingwei build. And then other gods like Egypaleyria, who just got buffed, really benefit from those type of builds. So it's not necessarily a bad pick. It is safe, which is something that Egypt's comp could definitely use, especially since their comp to me is screaming all or nothing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this one as we do transfer into game here. Going to be interesting. I mean, I'm excited. Um, it's gonna be interesting. This Ishtar definitely gonna bring a lot of a lot of kind of everything pressure, team fight, a bunch of important stuff that you just kind of get with an Ishtar, and obviously this Athena, who's another gun who I've seen being prioritized quite a bit. Definitely gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see these stars coming out from these teams. We've seen quite a few variations. Pings going out on the map. What is your favorite start, actually? What do you think is the best one currently?
I don't think so. I'm not too sure of what's going on with the right side start. I think because since I'm support main, I'm mainly
Yeah.
looking at the dual lane start. But I think personally starting purple and then doing XP may be the better way. Even though you don't start, it doesn't get you level 2 like that, but it gets you to lane faster. And once you've killed a couple minions, you're level 2 then. And by the time you've cleared the wave, people who do the green purple XP start are arriving late.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like getting that lane pressure, depending on your picks, of course, is a lot more important than hitting level 2 when you're inevitably going to hit level 2 quite quickly anyway. And it also depends on your ADC and support clear in a way that I've seen multiple times now where people get green, purple, and XP, but they struggle to clear it, and then they're coming into lane with only a quarter of their HP, and then they just get out pressure because of it.
Yeah, definitely some interesting things. As an ADC in myself, I definitely experienced that. There's some things where I think it's been better, but if you're gonna do what me and a lot of the other community is titled the big pull, you are definitely having your ADC start on the screen. One big mistake I do see a lot of them is a lot of times is just not making sure that the green buff is following you all the way.
There it goes.
And
There it
yep,
goes.
there it goes. That is truly unfortunate. So you get all of the downsides of the big pull with none of the upsides. As
Oh.
WODL, Slither and Amola, able to pull it off. No problem. They're gonna get to lane level 2 with the wave pressure. And
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
yeah.
One thing I'd like to point out as well is that this set is going Bluestone jungle.
You know,
He's-
so is the Ravana. So is Maka.
Obviously, that's
Yeah, nothing I'm not surprised with, although I am surprised with Heckroll opting to first item what could be a Bluestone, but hold on. A bit of a first blood, maybe in Maka. Yeah, he gets it. A nice try falling on this Ravana. Truly unfortunate. That just seems like we're seeing the downside of Ravana just early on in the game.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for GPL currently, obviously with the dual lane mishap happening and now Raijin already dying in like first blood, it's first minute in and now it looks like he needs
Wait, Dazi. Slither takes him down. He just was too pushed up. Maka coming around, getting involved once again. And it's been a start for Egypaleyria. WODL hit the ground running, and they've been off to the races ever since.
Yeah, and it looks like we... Oh,
Maybe? Again?
close.
Can we talk? Okay, we can.
Yeah, it looks very close. Like, WODL definitely came out swinging now. They have a lot of dual lane pressure, they have good pressure, so now it's kind of up to Kazvet in a way that hopefully he can regain the pressure in his own lane, get his map presence. Cullen's already pushed out on the tower, so now Kazvet gets the lane pressure. The set is doing fine as well, it's just a matter of... They've lost some farm, they've lost the first blood, but they're not out of the game. It's only like first 2 minutes in, they could definitely make a comeback.
Yeah, this set, we thought, and by we thought it was going to be a solely start, instead of opting for the Devil's Blood Force tree unless they've combined those trees.
No, it should be the same. Oh,
That's very peak. That's truly unfortunate. Good gank by Maka Flick. I'm learning these games pronunciation.
You're trying. You get it.
Yeah, it's like late season 1 all over again.
Yeah.
But definitely, Machiavelli getting involved on this duo side, making sure that Burpee has more pressure in. Espro has to be careful. Doesn't have the sandstorm up. And it is going to be another kill for Machiavelli. And it's 202. 100% kill participation all over the map. Nearly a kill on everyone from Egypaleyria.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, sorry.
This is one of the start that WODL thought that they needed, and they definitely got.
Yeah, Machiavelli with all 100% kill participation currently is definitely doing one on the map, and I'm very concerned with the Egypaleyria comp because Ares behind isn't that good, Set behind definitely isn't that good, Ryzen behind isn't that good. Their comp is all or nothing, and currently they're not gaining a lot to make that comp work. So, and once WODL's comp gets like on the ground running, which they already have, it's going to be very hard to fight back from that. They have a lot of setup from Amelia on the Athena. They have the ridiculous amount of damage on the Ishtar. They have the safety if you want his damage. Safety from Machiavelli, who's already seen with his damage, and Burpee getting the solo kill with Hazvet solo definitely set of pressure all across the map.
Yeah, something definitely huge. One thing I do find interesting though is this Ishtar being picked up first, and then we see all the way down as a kill comes out. Hezpori putting Egypaleyria on the map. Just kind of a classic set kill, no ult defended. Machiavelli needs to be careful. An ult from the Rajan Taiko drums, but a better rush Machiavelli, and Amolia picking up double for Machiavelli. Huge rotations with that defender of Olympus. That's just a counter step and a half.
That was an amazing goal from both Machiavelli and Amelia. It just allows them to dive in, be aggressive, and it gave. I mean, that was a lot of mitigation to Romana. His ult gives him mitigation, so does Athena ult. He was not taking any damage there, so good double kill mid takes it back. The pressure from Egypaleyria after getting killed on Yuhuang, and right now it's not looking good for Egypaleyria, but hopefully they can regain some stance.
Yeah, Burpee has its Contagion, which is an item that recently saw a buff with its with the anti-heal passive already on it, and then this new passive sort of bursting out damage, just kind of when you hit it out with an ability. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. Nothing from these ADCs, but one thing I wanted to touch on is in the SWC we saw some of these teams prioritizing an Izanami when Ishtar was picked up. Instead, Bob the Bunny and Egypaleyria opting for this Jingwei. Do you think it's likely just a comfort thing, or do you think there's probably some counter matchup in there that just hasn't been seen yet?
I mean, Jingwei is definitely screams comfort bit to me again, similar to the Raijin. I don't think she's necessarily that strong currently in the meta. Like, she's safe, but Ishtar's going to take all the pressure, and late game I'm definitely banking on Ishtar when it comes to who's doing more damage. And again, as I mentioned, the crit build not being viable currently, I think. And then, as you said earlier, a lot of other ADC picks are open. Jabalankwe, I don't think Sennos was open, but he might have been. Then, the Izanami, I don't think we're going to see this set. I don't think any of the teams are really going to prioritize it this season because she does have strong wave pressure in her auto attacks, but she's just always been one of the weaker hunters ever since her nerf she received because of the bow build. She's never really been that proficient except for the SWC like playoffs.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Seeing that counter matchup be brought up, it just looks like a lot of these people, a lot of these teams, not only prioritizing it, there's better things. As an ADC, I mean, I kind of thought that there's a lot of merit for these stim hunters, you know, Rama, Izanami being one of them, a few others. With this build, you're sort of, you know, namely attack speed, except that last item, which you're maybe getting Titan's Bane or something like that. You're doing definitely a lot of damage to the enemies, and certainly going to be something you need to look out for. A bit of contention over this Pyromancer camp, not anything, but it's gonna go around this 6-1, right? Around these objectives. Do you think Egypaleyria?
Honestly, I don't know currently. Like, so far, levels are equal. I think they could probably step up and defend it. I don't think they can necessarily steal it, but it's also important to know that both objectives are significantly different than they used to be. It takes a longer time to take the objectives now, so if you're going to take it, you have to commit.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing that's quite interesting is the spike comes out, a good ultimate throw, but a bit late. Defender Olympus does come out, forcing the bees. Lots of money does have to also lay, and McClavey is here on a rampage. Again, participating in all of these kills, and he's just been taking names, just beating everybody up.
Yeah, situations like that definitely does open objectives, and currently Machiavelli is just running the map. He's pretty much has 100% kill participation, so definitely run the map. And then currently on sides of each player, it looks like a solo kill.
Fire Fist with a big solo kill right there. Definitely a thing that you need to watch out for. Not opting for this book build, so he's going to get online a bit faster with that new device. It's very, very interesting. You need to look out for it. A lot of Antiel coming out on the side of water, shutting down, or at least attempting to shut down, because it's one you might bring to these team fights. Despite this 502 start for this Ravana, Hespori on the set has stayed in the game, seemingly on par in level.
Yeah, I mean, so far the only big level difference that you can see is the 2-level lead in the ADC duel, but currently it's only either 1 level or they equal. So, I mean, solo, since Kazvet got solo, they're both fine. So it's like the equal matchup. Kazvet's like a level down, but so far he's holding his own in the solo lane. And then it's just a hoping of, if I had to think for Egypaleyria now and try and come back into this game, there may be a chance if they can get to late game to the point where everyone hits level 20 and then they can focus on their team fight presence and grouping up, but so far the laning phase isn't really looking
good. Waddle, the support for Waddle and Molia up into the Thebes while Dodge getting the prophetic cloak offering when fully stacked, great mitigations, and threw out some protections to the backline in himself. Where do you stand on the prophetic cloak Thebes argument? Do you think one's better than the other? Do you think you can afford to build both?
So I think you should definitely not build both. I think that it takes too long to stack if you're going to get both. Prophetic is strong when it comes to the aura, but Thebes is faster to stack from what I've seen.
Huge Mystic Rush from Bailey, and a good ultimate coming out. Dawes pulling him back in. Fender of Olympus is through. Firefist needs to be careful. He's low, but Hespori falls. Dawsey picking up a kill. Machiavelli is unstoppable, though. He's gone. He's doing what he needs to do. Here, and Gold Series being good.
Yeah, I don't think Egypaleyria can really step up with that. Dawsey definitely doesn't have anything to steal it, and I don't think he can really pull them away. Same with Bob the Bunny here. I don't think either. They could show face, but I think this is going to go down.
Dawsey!
Oh, close, but unfortunately he's going to have to die for that.
Yeah, he knew what he thought he had to do. He was pretty close to it. But unable to get it, and Emilia not up the prophetic cloak. I think, as you say, kind of the smarter move. Takes way too long to stack. Although Slither and Bob both going for a crit build, but differing in their ways. Bob has the Slither opted for Raid, which is a recently buffed item. What is your thoughts on this move? And I know a lot of ADCs currently don't really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an ADC main, so I haven't really been keeping up with the builds on that side, but I've been trying to keep an eye on it. But from what I've seen, crit in general isn't that good, but I think Rage has been popular, and everyone's like, definitely, I know it's actually...
Mesmerize a possible solo, and it is true! The sword's coming out. Slither killing this Jing Wei. Bob the Bunny had been unable to dodge that fight. Definitely not a fight that you can afford to take, especially with Jing Wei. Then 2 levels down.
No, definitely not. Trying to 1v1 an Ishtar, especially when she's got a couple levels above you, is just an accident waiting to happen. Ishtar, despite being nerfed this patch, she's probably still one of the best ADCs. She's so flexible in the way that she can switch her auto attacks into, does she want to hyper farm, does she want to do damage, does she want to poke in the range? She's a Swiss farming icon. She does so much for this team.
Gosh, the huge damage coming out from Fire Fist. Definitely, nice try. Lucky to avoid that damage. If he didn't use that Tycho's drum right there, definitely would have been a big retirement team. Both WODL has full control of these objectives. 6K up. Definitely, this game seemingly sealed at this point. But there's a chance for a comeback. From Egypaleyria, they do have great late game hyper carries if they are able to stay in the game, get back into it. And
yeah, it's complicated. It's very complicated for Egypaleyria because right now WODL do have the map questions. They do have Pyromancer, Oracle, they have Gold Fury. However, since Fire Giant is buffed now, it's going to take a lot more commitment overall to try and take Fire Giant. So I feel like if each player can farm up and get to the point where they can fight in these 5v5 team fights, they may have a chance because, again, as I said, Fire Giant just takes a lot to
hold that thought and try in a bit of danger. Nothing's gonna happen from it.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's got so much map pressure and stuff, he can take as much risk as he can at this point, especially with him being Ravon. If he ends up in this bad position, he can just ult out as it says there and just get away.
And nice try falls.
Not be alive.
Machiavelli falling, a shutdown going to Hespori. This might just be the end that Egypaleyria needed. Nice try, does fall there. Gonna widen that gap in the mid lane. But Hespori taking down Machiavelli, putting him into the game. This is that hyper carry. Might just be online now. And it's definitely gonna lead to some very, very interesting possibilities in the future.
Yeah, definitely. With the shutdown XP, it's definitely going to give him a boost that he's needed, especially with him being the same level as Machiavelli. I think he has a high kill potential now, because again, he's set. If he sticks to you, he's going to do a lot of damage. It's just now he needs to try and focus his pressure around the map, try and take down maybe one of these side laners, whether it be Ishtar, which for how strong she is, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe he can help out Kazvet and try and take down the Kukulkan, try and exert his map pressure, because he can still take fights. He's definitely in the game still. It's just he needs to be very careful, because if he gets picked off, he's definitely going to lose a lot of map pressure because of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Slither opting for this Exi, Ferocious Executioner, item that is extremely strong. I mean, if an ADC had it, they might have. Your enemies might have protection. As Hesport, and nothing's gonna happen. We're at this kind of like temperamental stage of the game where nothing is really able to happen. You can pull Gold Fury, but the enemies should have it warded. They should know. And Fire Giant feels like you can try and bait a fight around at any moment. Holding it. You need to be careful. Dodgy coming in, doing Dragon. Egypaleyria steals it. This might just be the end for the game, and Hespori going large on this set, taking down somebody, anybody. Slither is low defender of Olympus, used Aegis coming out. Machiavelli taking down Hespori, and it looks like Kazvet is here, and he picks up a kill of his own. Amolia trying to peel off for Fire Fist. Machiavelli picking up Bob the Bunny, and that might have just been the shutdown of that fight. Egypaleyria might have almost gone back into this game, but WODL are not going to let them. They have to disengage. A Gold Fury for 2. You think Egypaleyria might be feeling slightly okay about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great steal by them. They stood up and they managed to get a kill. I think it was on the Ishtar, I believe. Yeah, on the Ishtar. So that's managed to slow down her farm a bit, especially giving Kazvet the gold. But unfortunately, it did come at a price. They lost to kills because of it. Like Machiavelli is extremely difficult to deal with, especially with him again being Ravana. He's got a lot of map pressure, he's got a lot of kill potential, he's very difficult to peel from, especially with Ares as a support, because Ares is good at being aggressive, don't get me wrong, but peel wise Egypaleyria kind of lacking on that. So it's gonna be very difficult for Machiavelli to get extremely deep into his backline.
Yeah, WODL definitely seeming like they have the advantage here, right? Again, Egypaleyria feel like they can kind of step up, but they do need to be careful. 8,000 gold in the favor of WODL at 18 minutes. Definitely feels rough, and it's only gonna get wider from here if Egypaleyria don't stand their ground. They started at this Fury pit, lost the fight. They need to find somewhere else. Cosvet, though,
Nice.
assisting on that kill. It's exactly what they needed. Egypaleyria slowly clawing back into this game. You need to be careful, though. Machiavelli looking for Hasporian just
close.
barely. Cosvet, though, he doesn't have his ultimate. A bit tanky, but we'll see how tanky he is. Currently, no pen coming out from Machiavelli. And he's just kind of healing through. Yeah, he's getting poked. He feels confident, honestly. I think he should be.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Guan used one of his favorite gods. I think it is his outright #1 favorite god. So he knows how to pilot that god, and he knows once he gets the late game in his full build, he can definitely charge his team fight to do a lot of damage and be very safe because of it. So I think Kazvet is definitely one of the keys to hopefully bringing this game back, especially with the set absolutely doing a lot of damage. Once they have those two together, as well as everyone grouped up in a team fight, they have a very aggressive comp. And the thing is that we have seen WODL react to this quite well, as we saw when we saw the set dive onto the Ishtar. The Athena managed to ult her and give all the mitigation she needs to survive, which unfortunately led to the set's death. So they have to be aggressive and try and make these proactive plays, but they also have to be wary because WODL have a lot of safety to counteract it.
They definitely do. Although Slither might have just been made into a fight that they can't afford to take. They're falling low. Aegis and not beats used, but only Aegis has Pori picking up the kill on Slither. And he's getting involved late now. Egypaleyria seemingly out of this game, what, just 3 minutes ago? They've made their mark.
Yeah, no, they've definitely gained their map presence back. They're taking these fights, they're trying to get these picks, they're confronting on objectives, they're doing what they need to do, and it's thankfully a lot to Hespori on this set currently. It's doing a lot of damage, he's getting a lot of ganks, and he's trying to apply the pressure. I mean, I don't think Slither knew he was there. I don't think he would have dashed in if he knew the set was there.
Yeah, I definitely don't think so either. Bob the Bunny, great job at baiting there. Oni Fury has spawned though. Bob not going for a crit build. At least not right now. Building all three of that dagger tree. Or bounce tree. Certainly interesting. I don't know if I'm a fan of that build on Jingwei. I mean, I'm not really a fan of that build with Boomerang in it. I feel like there is sort of better items with the Pen of Atalanta's and Odibo. You definitely could be building. I'm excited to see though, a tiny bit of crit in Jingwei's kit can definitely do a lot for the character.
Yeah, and also the final is Gold Fury, and with it being Oni Fury, this is a very good objective to fight over. It gives a lot of gold, it gives a lot of XP, but it also buffs their lane minions, which can uptake their towers and apply that map pressure. It can bring back Egypaleyria more, or it can put WODL more into the power position.
Yeah. Definitely something you need to be careful of. Ultimate use. One guy's burst. You need to be careful. Huge dueling dragon. The fight starts. And Cosvet alone. Machiavelli killing. Nice try. Cosvet alone in that backline. You need to be careful. Machiavelli is low. That's not enough outright killing. You need to be careful if you're a WODL though. Well, health-wise, not only can do it. Ender of Olympus on to Fire Fist. Bit interesting without the mid laner there for Egypaleyria. Looks like there might be some backs here coming out from Egypaleyria as Poli is around. Definitely a flat fire of a fight there.
Yeah, hopefully they can step up and take the gold through, just trying to run them both. Looks like they might get pretty close to the triangle for a steal.
I don't think you can necessarily afford that in a steal. not something that you exactly was in the books there. Waddle making sure that they had that confirmed on point. It only happened once this game. It's not going to happen again. If I was Egypaleyria there, I think going for that steal there is not the play. As you said, Waddle's now even further in the lead. Now they have 3 lanes of pressure with this upcoming Fire Giant, though Machiavelli needs to be careful, and he does get the kill with the assistance of Fire Fist.
That was
Very,
a lot
very
of
big.
damage.
That was a lot of damage. Hitting this Pyromancer, though, and the bomb is on Dodzy. Definitely something you need to look out for. It definitely destroys these towers. And I believe something that can steal away a Fire Giant. It's going to be interesting as Waddle around this Fire Giant. I don't think Egypaleyria knows. At least they're not coming to it yet. I do believe they know now. Bob the Violent likely spots it out. And it's a quarter. Egypaleyria might skip this one over for free, and they do. It looks like they were posturing around to it, but too late. Waddle looking for a fight now. But I don't think just yet. The Defender of Olympus is used. Jump in from Burpee. A huge pure mortal pain. Tycho Drum comes out, dueling dragons, and Dawsey falls. Slither picking up that one. Machiavelli is just in the backline. Nice try, needs to be careful. Mystic Rush is used as Corey fights to be looking for that 1v1, but that doesn't matter as Burpee coming to save his boy. That tower falls. 3 is dead for Egypaleyria. Waddle, all 5 going strong as this tower just gets bombed and it falls real quickly. Phoenix now being seized by Waddle.
Yeah, well, since Waddle got that Fire Giant, they have all the right to just be aggressive, take as many structures as they can. Like, they're going to try and close this game out whenever possible now. They're going to take the towers routinely, play it safe, and now Egypaleyria are probably in the worst position they've been in this game. And now the 10k goes down. They unfortunately lost the Gold Fury, and now they've lost the Fire Giant. Unfortunately, I don't know if Egypaleyria can come back from this game. Hopefully they can set up a good defense, but again, it's just the weakness of their comp. Once they're behind and they're put on the back seat, they can't really do much. But hopefully we've seen signs of life in them before. We've seen picks, we've seen good plays. Hopefully we can see it again, hopefully during their defense. Because right now, Waddle with the FG buff is definitely looking a lot stronger.
Yeah, they are looking a lot stronger. Slither looks like not opting for the full yellow numbers, but picking up this dominance. It's really been interesting. I've been seeing a lot of talk about dominance and how it doesn't really work with this OD bow build that a lot of people have been building for. Rage being built up. It's certainly interesting. One crit item there hasn't seemed to really harm anything there, and so they're doing quite well on it. There's a huge ult with Blink and Tycho Drum's being forced out. These anti-ults from Ishtar, they do hurt. And that ultimate force that Tablet charge. Too much. Waddle looking for a
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately they have got a lot of focus potential and they're taking this tower now. I mean, hopefully Egypaleyria can defend this Phoenix, but honestly with the rate that's going, they might not be able to, but they're still in the game. It's not over, so it's over. Hopefully we see some signs of life and hopefully they manage to bring it back.
Yeah, I definitely think they could show a sign of life here, but has Pori definitely having to run away is not a good one. Not having your jungler there is been a factor. Nice try though. I'm going to the Tycho Drum this time. Ultimate from Dazzy. I don't know if it's anyone, but a huge ultimate from Sliver. And there goes Bob the Bunny. The guy from Waddle, strong defender of Olympus. Dazzy does pick up Machiavelli. Unexpected shut down on him again. They get this Phoenix, but will it be enough? Fire Fist. Keeps the first one, has Pori just before Slither does fall. A 2-for-1 and a Phoenix for Waddle. Definitely something that they are favored on. 2 Phoenixes down. Fire Giant's up in a minute. Waddle is in a great position.
Yeah, I want to point out Machiavelli's play there as well. So also teaching on the left Phoenix, Machiavelli first of all, he caused the set to just not go over. He had so much presence that he forced the set back into the fountain. But he caused so much pressure in the backline that each player really couldn't have made a right answer. We can defend the Phoenix, but then again, Machiavelli's in the backline, he's definitely going to do damage. We can focus Machiavelli, but then again, the Phoenix is going to take damage. He positioned himself in a situation where no matter what happened, Egypaleyria in that situation were not going to win.
Yeah, he definitely did a good job of that too. I definitely liked what he did there. He made the play, and he made the play that he exactly needed to make. Egypaleyria, they need to be careful though. They're still in this game, 30 minutes in. They need to pick and choose their battles, and they need to go for a Hail Mary play. Otherwise, it's just WODL with a done deal, sealed it. If this fire giant goes without anything.
Yeah, it looks like Egypaleyria are a lot more aware that they're on the fire giant, and it's not an advanced fire giant yet, so they could burn it if WODL choose to. It's going to become advanced as play, and still that's not changed, so they're going to keep Egypaleyria away, and they have so much map presence currently that if they choose not to do fire giant, they can definitely start a fight on Egypaleyria, win that fight and try and win the game there. So also going to burn the fire giant, especially in the next minute to battle. Definitely time to do it now.
Definitely time to do it now with great going. The fight as well. Defender Limited, they do just look for that. An ultimate from Dawson that gets nice try out. But a bit of a miscommunication. Tycho Drum is huge. He's not able to do much with it. Firing on the Machiavelli, picking up a kill on Cosvet. And it looks like that might just be it. Nothing more, nothing less. But that might have bottled the opening. Telling him the opening to go take down this fire giant.
Yeah, picking up the definitely is a big play here. Like I said, one of the main plays is once WODL against fire giant, hopefully each player can maybe steal it, but I think that's eventually going to die. So
yeah, he should have hold it until enhance.
I
Would've been
think
the
they might have
smarter
got it.
decision. They do have enhance
Oh. Yeah, they on the dot.
on the dot. Not something you see all too often.
We'll say it's intentional.
Yeah, obviously intentional. But quite interesting. Egypaleyria, now are definitely feeling the fire here. And you need to be careful. You can't afford to misstep now. You have to play it perfectly. As it is, EFC is on WODL. One misstep, one mistake costs you the game here, no matter how small. Mid Phoenix is down, and looks like they are defending this left bird to come back. But Egypaleyria, having one Phoenix down is a huge boon, especially. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, currently they have 5 minions barreling down the left and middle lanes, so, and it looks like what are going to do, the safest option is try and take the right Phoenix, and only Fury will be up soon, but I doubt this is really going to make a change in the game. If WODL gets it, it's going to make them more stronger, and if Egypaleyria get it, that's still an advanced fire giant they're going against. So
I feel
hopefully,
like if Egypaleyria get it, then they lose the fight after. I feel like they can't really afford to step up unless it's very all in, only getting one. That's Emolia. A huge fight outside of the piece is exactly what they need. Escori though falls, too much damage, and too little time for him to do anything. Defender of Olympus is used. One falls, and there goes another Cosvet falls. The dive from Egypaleyria is down, and Burpee just 3 casts on that backline bomb. It gets out. He's healing up a lot. Phoenix falls. All 3 Phoenixes down. This Titan is brittle. It's on its last legs. They're looking for kills. They're ensuring that this game goes over. Then game 1, like it's all but over. They are seeing the deal. WODL takes game 1 in 32 minutes.
yeah, in a very convincing way as well. I don't think there's any argument that Machiavelli's the MVP here, but they've played the map extremely well. They got all the pressure, and unfortunately, Egypaleyria, due to their comp, just had not that much comeback potential. So I think now what Egypaleyria needs to look at is definitely pick a safer comp, or more of an all-round comp, and then just please don't pick something like Raijin again. Like, I'm sorry, but it didn't go well this game. Raijin's not good of a god. I just would not pick him again after this. The Guan Yu's pretty useful. You can maybe look at the set again, but then the Ares, I know Dozzy likes it, and he definitely didn't do bad on it. It's just, again, if Ares gets fine, he doesn't do a lot. And for Waddle, they just got to carry on doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they definitely got a Waddle W there in that game 1. Looking to set up for game number 2 here. I'm excited to see where they go on with this. And they definitely should be doing some exciting things. We're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it to a quick break. Don't you go anywhere as we have game number 2 of Waddle and Egypaleyria coming up real soon. Welcome back, everybody, to Galeria Smite League. This is game 2 of WODL versus Egypaleyria. Panda Bear, Ash, and Mitch still here with Albie on the sticks. That was definitely a game 1. 32 minutes, signs of life from Egypaleyria, but WODL ultimately taking it, and taking it arguably convincingly. Well,
Yeah,
not really arguably.
yeah, Waddle definitely
Convincingly.
showed their prowess that game. They played the map well. Machiavelli completely popped off, was a complete force to be reckoned with that set. So, and I think Egyptplayer are not out the set yet. I think if they go just a bit safer in their picks, try and not pick as an aggressive all or nothing comp, I think they can definitely still bring the set back into their favor. And please just don't pick Ryzen again.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this Ryzen, a terrible pick. Especially when you had that set on board already. Um, not something you could really afford to pick. Is this? We do see some bands from last game like this Maui and Thor, the Soul, coming out. All picks that we see very we see usually. Nothing too surprising. I think Soul really good right now with the amount of pressure that she just brings. I feel like arguably could be first pick worthy. Um, but isn't. A bit of a change.
I'm coming for you, laddie!
Ishtar definitely seemed like a worry into the ban. With Ymir and Yamoja now banned, where do you think Egyptalaria should
Let
go?
the waters rise!
Well, they've locked in the Hebo and the Ravana. I know Kazvet likes it solo, so this could mean the Hebo's going jungle, but
No
I mean,
god nor demon can defeat
he's
me.
shown how good he was in the has probably showed how good he was in the set in jungle. So something like Hebo, the amount of damage it can deal, can definitely be more to his playstyle. And then Kazvet taking away the Raven from Machiavelli and taking it for himself in solo is definitely something that can benefit Egyptplayer, especially with Raven again being a safer pick. And then Hebo not being as much as a safe pick, but gives a massive reward if played right.
Yeah, safer than
Oh no.
definitely safer than Raijin, and set, but interesting.
Oh no.
I smell
It
fear.
is.
You will regret getting in my
This
way.
spells disaster.
And rare.
Fenrir and Rama picked. I said I thought these stim hunters would be really strong. Rama having some of the highest scaling autos, well, the highest scaling autos in the game, and Fenrir, who's previously been banned out. Uh, Definitely interesting. Each player needs to pull out an answer for sure for these two gods. They can't let Burpee on this Kool-Aid run the game again, and Slither on this Ishtar did really well. So on a god with a better team fight, it's going to be worrying. And Machiavelli on this Fenrir is a sight that I'm excited to see.
To be honest, I'm quite terrified for it. So since Hebo got first picked, Fenrir is the answer to that, and Fenrir has always been one of those gods to answer the Hebo pick.
Yep.
So this is a massive benefit inside of Waddle. They got the Cucullin, which already works. It played extremely well first game. Don't have to worry about it. They couldn't get the Ishtar again. Obviously, it was banned. So they picked up the Rama, which is a very good god. Gives a lot of pressure, gives a lot of lane clear, does a lot of damage, and gives a lot of ult play potential. And now Darzi going from arguably one of the most aggressive picks to one of the more defensive picks now of Ganesh. And I think the Ganesh is an okay pick here. It can silence the Fenrir. It can silence, Ramrock and Cullen as well. But it gives a lot of anti-dive potential, which is definitely something that could be good against Waddle, especially with Kukul and Rama and Fenrir. Once they're in and then Ganesha pops his ult, it's going to be very difficult to get out of it again. So I think it's a very safe pick here, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I definitely like it. I feel like Ganesha, an age-old answer to Fenrir. I mean, closing out that brutalize, making sure that the Unchained, the ultimate, can't come out at the best of times. Um, with that, with his jump too, the jump into the stun, making sure that can't come out when you want it to. A very big Egyptalaria though, uh, trying to answer some of the problems at least from game number 1 with how heavy they dive. We're picking up this Ganesha. Noticing that they need more of a dive that doesn't rely on Dazi, so they pick up this Ravana, and potentially this Hebo for jungle. Could still go mid if they're feeling risky, but I'm not too sure with Machiavelli on this Fenrir you really want it to go mid.
It could be the Fenrir could be support. It could definitely be support still. I think I don't know if Emilia's ever played it before, but it could be. But I do think it's more likely Machiavelli jungle because I mean with his boss he's definitely gonna be doing a lot more damage. And honestly, Egypaleyria maybe could have gone Geb to counter the Fenrir, make it a lot harder to play, but understandably they can actually do a safe pick here. But now that WODL have banned the set, one of the only gods that Egypaleyria played last game to be banned, that takes away a safety pick, which, to be fair, I didn't think they were going to pick up the set anyway, so it's a safe ban either way. And then Egypaleyria closing out their bans with the Humbats, just in case Machiavelli is not going in Fenrir, which is understandable. Humbats brings a lot of team fight potential, so it's a safe ban. So now, I'm curious to see what picks are going to come out here now.
Yeah, it lies on Hespori on what if he wants this Hebo or if it is going to be a mage in that mid laner. Well, not Hebo in that mid lane.
Ooh, a
And
battle.
it looks
This
like
is
it is going
exciting!
to be. It's going to be the Scylla picked up for nice try. A bit of a late game menace. Much akin to Raijin, except with damage. And like everything that you actually want on a mage like Raijin.
Mhm.
So a lot better of a pick and improvement for sure. Definitely need to wonder with this Fenrir though. I do believe that it is a slight counter, not a full one. Obviously, you kind of force this Fenrir not to dive on you if you have your kit up, because if he does,
You
then
dare test your might against Tiamat?
So it leaves
Get
that
off of them!
option on to this ADC that is going to be picked up as
Yeah.
Waddle draft with a Khepri and a Tiamat here. Two guys that I really like here. Khepri offering kind of if Machiavelli goes too deep, a bit of a safety net, and Tiamat a god who I think has been really strong lately.
Yeah, it rounds out their comp pretty well. If the Fenrir gets in a position where he's dived a bit too hard, the Khepri can take him out with the ultimate, and then Egypaleyria hovering on the Charybdis, it seems that oh, now they're hovering around a Skadi, which I really don't know if I like
Watch your
this pick
step.
for multiple reasons. For one, I think Fenrir is really good into it. It lacks a CC immune ult. I think I maybe would prefer the Charybdis pick, but we can see how it goes. And then Hespori is going the Hebo, and if I had to pick which comp I favour out of here, I do like Waddle's comp more, especially with the performance they played last game. But I do think overall Egypaleyria are playing with a better comp.
Yeah, I think Egypaleyria, if you kind of like take out this Scotty, uh, definitely a really good comp. The Scotty is a major question mark in my opinion. Scotty is interesting to say the least. Not offering something, I want to say.
Yeah, my main issue with Scotty is, as I said before, lacks CC immune ult, so you're lacking. If you get caught out by something like a Khepri, Fenrir, possibly Tiamat, Rama, you're going to be CC'd and you're going to take a lot of damage. Yeah, Cuckoo, it's just so much CC on their comp. And then build path wise, Skadi does not have that much. Like, she doesn't suit crit, she doesn't suit attack speed pen. Like, she's pretty much a full ability hunter. And if you're going to go on ability hunter, why didn't you pick Chiron?
Iron, Uller even. I mean, it definitely interesting and not something I can want to desire necessarily. This Scotty is definitely a pick that I just don't like. I'm struggling to kind of say anything positive about it. I'm excited to see how it goes though. Has a chance to be very good as we get ready for game number 2 here though. Tell me about this solo though, which arguably is one of the one of the lights that kind of shine the brightest into this comp.
Well, I mean, it relies on farm. It's going to need a lot of farm, so hopefully, if Egypaleyria don't end up losing the early game as hard as they did first game, they should be able to get it to late game. It's okay into Fenrir. You have a leap, so he can't brutalize and follow you. If he does brutalize you, you can just hit him with the Scylla combo right to his face. You can't stop that. And then it's good. It provides a lot of team fight, does a lot of damage. It's definitely better than the Raijin. Much bigger improvement, I'd say.
Yeah, we're getting into the game number 2 here. Looks like both teams still going for this big pull on the duo side and on this right side. I'm excited for it. Egypaleyria need to make sure that it doesn't get messed up again, as Dozzy's just kind of jamming out here with that special mode. Something I really enjoy. It's nice. It's peaceful.
Wait, I don't know if that skin's banned. I might be wrong there. But one thing I'd like to point out with Scylla now that I just remembered, I think maybe Poseidon could have been better because it cripples the Rama, it cripples the Fenrir, it cripples the Tiamat, does a lot for the team fight, but still I think Scylla's an okay pick. It's just, hopefully, as long as Egypaleyria manage their starts properly this time around, and hopefully gets to lay a bit easier, they should have a stronger chance to win this game, and I hope they do.
Yeah, it looks like Egypaleyria going for Little Pole. Quite interesting. I think with a Scotty, essentially having arguably 2 abilities, you can do it, but both teams opting for it. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
I think it's okay because it's similar to the level XP part where, yeah, you don't hit level 2 but you get to lane earlier, which in some cases can be way more important.
That really can be more so Burpee.
Oh no.
Just murdering Cosmet on this level 2. That's just some pressure. I mean, wave full for Burpee. Cosmet not clearing that. Something you need to be wary of. Having used TP early, it's definitely dangerous. But I think it's interesting, you know, how Big Bull goes. Personally, I prefer Big Bull just as an ADC. It offers some of the most farm, right? As you know, Machiavelli comes out, just needs to be careful. And here's that lack of safety being shown, but a huge dash from Dozzy getting out Bob the Bunny. WODL only up to a 1-0 start here, a minute 30 in. Here hits Esprit, he has to be careful. Fenrir, not something that can really be stood up to in this early game, especially with that 2-up. You need to be careful here. Egypaleyria falling behind, off to a 2-0 start. I'm like I was saying, Big Bull is definitely interesting because you get to lane slightly later if you're doing it right. But I would say there's a potential fight to go this duo lane.
Yeah, I mean, we saw right there with the Fenrir and the Skadi then, it's just not much Skadi can do when the Fenrir is on her. I think the Charybdis was just an overall better pick. It provides the safety, it can do some stuff late game, but we'll see how it goes. And Skadi's just very mana hungry as well. And we saw her early, she had next to no mana. If you look at her build, she's definitely not going into a Transcendence, which is an item that Skadi needs, so we'll see how it goes. But so far, as well as solo pressure, now going to the side of Burpee, unfortunately he managed to solo Kazvet, so that's not looking good for Egypaleyria, unfortunately. But the Scylla is doing okay. They still have some pressure in mid, that's going equal. And then Dozzy has been playing the Ganesha well. He did manage to save Burpee's, the Bunny's life. So definitely good pick on the Ganesha though.
Yeah, Dozzy definitely putting in the work. Both options to be found in this game. I think it's interesting with a mage and a hunter in both lanes. I do think you can afford to go compassion, which Dozzy is probably looking for. Amelia still looking at the Sentinel's gift. So I'm excited. Egypaleyria definitely having these mages though. You need to be kind of careful. If you are Molia, dive is going to be hard hitting. Stuff that is able to hit the ground on it now.
Yeah, I mean, Amelia played it in the first game of how the playstyle's been this set. She's been very up in your face, that very much suits the Sentinels, and to be honest, I wouldn't have been surprised if she picked up War Flag if it wasn't removed from the game currently. Like, because right now she's trying to play aggressive, she's trying to set up for a team, and it's unfortunate that that Siren is available. It's like, I'm not going to get the pick, but yeah, a lot of pressure on duo, and then Kazvet has managed to equalize the solo lane a little bit. You see the level down, but Burpy's not getting too much from it. And then Fenrir and team are taking the mid farm, which is definitely getting ahead of WODL.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting. WODL, looking at these bastions, Slither, just kind of hitting both of them. Something that I really wasn't aware that you could do as Rama. I mean, kind of figured. I just didn't know if that angle was there. Looks like it is. So definitely WODL, not as an explosive game as it was last game. But they're still ahead by a good margin currently.
Yeah, now the Tiamat has all the map pressure currently. She has a red buff, she's a level buffer, and then she has a divine root. So Liz wants to book a third, so she's gonna have that flat pen and that early like power spike to completely make sure the Sill is in close.
Yeah, good play for Machiavelli right there. With that, just brutalize on point. Hespori needs to be careful. This is exactly what we were talking about with this Evo coming out here. I'm kind of interested in where this is gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, they first picked Hebo, Fenrir open. It's kind of an expensive result. Like, Fenrir is extremely good to Hebo, and unfortunately, Hebo, if he falls behind, is arguably worse than Sat. Like, his ult is still going to do a lot of damage, but he is extremely easy to pin down, and with the comp that WODL is running, it's not going to be hard to pin him down in the first place. So, hopefully, Hespori can find some good picks and apply some map pressure back onto the map, but honestly, I do fear for him because Machiavelli's already proven himself that he's very talented jumper in the first game, and with him being into a counter pick as well, it's going to be just an uphill battle for him.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You need to be careful. You can't really afford to fall much more behind WODL. Still have a lead, a quieter game than last game. But seemingly a bigger lead now with nearly a level all over. Who's the only lead for you is in this support role. About a half level. 2 levels in that jungle. Not something you want to see, especially with Hespori on this Hebo.
Yeah, currently, it's very weird right now because we were saying in the first game that each player needs to take the comp right and needs to play a bit slower. So, I might be a solo kill.
You need to be careful here. Bob the Bunny, though, just had this Aussie proc. He might be able to pick it up. The dog coming out. The combat roll and taking out the dog is a bit of a sneaky counter pick that really isn't mentioned. Kind of Rama with his enhanced autos is able to take down the dog Calder faster than some other hunters. So you definitely do need to be careful. That's just kind of emoting here. You need to be careful because with that combo roll, at least with that combo roll auto, just two health coming up instead of the usual one. Definitely a big boon for this Rama pick. Sort of that just shut down all solo potential that Bob might have had there.
Yeah, I mean, Rama's just very strong god overall. Again, hop onto the Scotty pick. We've already said everything about it, but yeah, Rama is really good. He can penetrate all things with his auto attacks, but coming in with the Scylla roll here.
It looks like it is gonna fire on a nothing. Certainly unfortunate. As that out on fire fist. It really does take Dazzy into his team and Ultimus Kepri and a huge stun. Pillars coming out, but a jump and a huge ultimate. That is exactly what we were saying that Kepri could have been used for. Hespori looking for something, but doesn't seem like he's anything. Vet though, a huge stun here. Crush is used, and Vet able to pick up the kill there. Egypaleyria on the board, attempting to stop the bleeding for now.
Yeah, so definitely good for Egypaleyria gets back on the board, but it's just noticeable with WODL as well is that they're playing very proactive. They're trying to invade first. They're trying to show off that they're stronger here currently. They're making it very difficult for Egypaleyria to play the game. So I think Egypaleyria, whilst punishing the cocky players that WODL are doing, they need to maybe try and make some proactive plays themselves, because with the comp they've built around, we were saying they have to play a bit safer with their comp, but they need to be careful just to play safe and still make proactive plays, but not play reactive, because if they're just going to play reactive and try and take it slow, WODL will take advantage of that and take everything they possibly can.
I mean, WODL, they're taking advantage of their lead currently. 10 minutes is almost heading, and they're in the driver's seat. I'd love to see WODL pick up possibly pick up a potential Pyromancer if that is up anytime soon. Just kind of something to push that lead out just a tiny bit more, so you can set up for an earlier fire giant, kind of get that ball rolling, that late ball rolling. But prior to the time you got a rolling last game.
Yeah, it's very similar. I mean, Gold Fury, I think Egypaleyria have a better comp to step up and definitely contest the Gold Fury, especially with their Scylla, but again,
That's
kind of
rough.
Yeah. Was that pun intended with the Fenrir, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, no, with Egypaleyria, they have a comp that can definitely steal gens easier with the Scylla and stuff like that, but right now, it's like, they're taking the pressure on Survival, which is good, but...
Rod does come out waiting for this dash. No dash here from the Ganesh. And it looks like Slither picking up the kill on Bob the Bunny. This might be a huge turnaround. Dazzy having to get out low health, and a stun use cover roll is used there. Triple comes out, the pull comes out, and Slither picking up a clean double, waiting for his team, and he gets it back just in time.
The moment the Scotty's in an aggressive position, the Fenrir punishes it, and it was really well played by Slither, because he definitely could have died easily, especially with a 2v1, but he managed just to wait out for his team and get to double, as you say. So, again, very good on WODL. They're countering what Egypaleyria are trying to do, and honestly, the state of the map, they can definitely look for an early Gold Fury, possibly a Pyromancer. And Egypaleyria, the gaps are getting bigger now, as you see jungle. 2 level difference in solo, there's a 3 level difference in ADC, so they can definitely look for objectives now.
Yeah. You need to be looking for objectives for WODL. You can't just rest in your laurels here with the Scylla, who it is essentially a ticking time bomb. You need to be pulling for this Gold Fury real soon. Before the Scylla is able to get on 2 levels, a steady incline for WODL with this gold lead. But we are seeing a slight downward trend. Bit of solo potential coming out from either of these people. Bob the Bunny needs to be careful. Machiavelli not respecting the solo, but I don't think it would have ever gone Bob the Bunny's way there. Here.
Yeah, what's the dog doing? Yeah, it's very weird situation right now, because they're definitely going to look over this Gold Fury, so each player needs to make the decision if they're going to contest for it now, because if they don't, again, it's snowball for WODL. But we'll say they're high number 1 and then try and maybe go for a steal, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, ultimate coming out from the Scylla might be too early, and yes, it is. Able to do anything, and it looks like nice try, might have had a nice try for the steal. And Slither cleaning it up, and Machiavelli cleaning up Hespori. That might have taken down, and any dream WODL has is taking the Gold Fury. Besides a miracle coming out from Dazzy. Atomic Killer is used, trying to burn with it. It looks
Just
like it was just off the mark. I don't even think Gold Fury was in it.
No, I think the Gold Fury was in it, but I don't think it was on the line to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the line. It might have been in the line for that first second. That's why you saw Dozzy just step a tiny bit forwards there. That kind of got him out. Maybe, I mean, WODL using Dharma Pillars to kind of strip out that protections of that Gold Fury there potentially. Just kind of maybe unintentionally. But
I mean,
definitely gonna be interesting.
I mean, WODL played it perfectly though, because they saw the Silver was coming and they went, okay, and then they just stepped off it. Like, there's nothing the Stiller could have done. And then Silver went at the air, Smiter, and I'd like to point out, Silver is playing really well in this round. He's taking his shots, he's doing what he needs to do, he's playing well. Like, I know Machiavelli's been stealing the spotlight currently, but he does have a team, and his team are playing well.
I definitely agree. I mean, without the people around him, without his support, I mean, he would have a death in his columns if it wasn't for Amelia.
That's true.
She's right. I mean, insane plays coming out from her. I really like what I've seen. These polls have been on point. The one time that we actually needed to see a res, it was arguably perfect there, and likely she's probably the one doing some shot calling, and she's doing exactly what she needed to do. As we kind of see, Cosmet just kind of chilling out in this lane. He really can do nothing. He can't fight Burpee. Bit of a quiet game. WODL. They're just kind of farming up as it seems until they can kind of exactly feel comfortable to maybe go over this Pyromancer, which I feel like should be pretty soon here. As Pori does fall to Machiavelli. Unstoppable is this Fenrir, and definitely seems so. Machiavelli might be in between a rock and a hard place, but dodging that Sikkim, that's gonna just splash. Squish. There we go. Squish any chances of a shutdown right then and there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just extremely difficult for the Hebo right now, which is Fenrir being his counter pick, and then that counter pick being how many levels up now. It's just the amount of map pressure that WODL have where again in a situation where they have to play perfectly to try and bring us back. And they're going for Pyromancer now, which is going to give them the bomb dimension secure, which is going to give them a lot of pressure to take the objectives as well, whether it be Fire Giant and the Gold Fury or just towers later on. And I really don't think these players can step up for it, because it's definitely not worth the fight.
Yeah, seeming that nice try did step up there, kind of looking for a steal, but it was dropped, and then he just kind of went back to the lane, and then it was picked up, and he kind of was none the wiser, stood in lane, maybe was thinking it's not worth me dying again, I need to get too late game in order to realistically do anything currently. Cosvet needs to be careful that flip kick is used. I don't think anything out of it. WODL, I mean, they're in a fantastic spot here. Away though. Slither needs to be careful. Dharma Killer is used. Slither goes up to this Astro Barrage. Might be buying time for a Commandant to come out. And it looks like it isn't going to come out just yet. Bob the Bunny picking the second kill for Egypaleyria. I mean, that's exactly what they might need. You know, Bob the Bunny closing in, 2 levels down now. Likely gonna just fall into a level if you be careful. You need to be careful here. You can't let Amelia and Machiavelli just jump on you. You can't let any of that happen like it's happening right now. A huge water spout though. That's gonna put the end of Machiavelli diving onto this Hebo. Looks like he finally has some amount of damage to feel good about taking on the second.
Yeah, Muscati's in a very dangerous position here.
That's rough. A huge silence, brutalized coming out with the bead. And a shutdown from Nice Try, but Bob the Bunny still falls all the same. Huge. Again, just unable to learn from his past 2 games of Victoria Victory. Flying too close to the sun all too often. But Egypaleyria might be making that same mistake. There might be fighting up more than just Dark Killers is huge. It looks like Firefist needs to be careful. Nice try. Able to pick it up. Molia just off the mark on that revive for Fire Fist, but honestly, I think Fire Fist is better off dying there, because if that is used, I do believe that Amolia and Fire Fist fall there, so potentially correct. But huge snipes coming out, and Cosvet is not gonna fall from those. But Slither showing that he might have fallen once, but he's just not kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they won that fight, but with Scylla, it's like the damage is coming online now, so it's definitely not something that's free for WODL anymore. They have to be very wary of the Scylla, because the amount of damage she can output, especially on Fenrir, is going to be right into her face, is going to be insane. So that's definitely a hope for Egypaleyria now. They have the mid lane damage as her build's coming online. The Hebo, unfortunately, is still going to be in the lose as well, especially when we get belly Fenrir. Hopefully, Cosvet, once he finds himself full build, like, will find himself doing more damage. I think maybe maybe going back to the Guan Yu pick may have been better, but he's on the Raven, so he can play safe. He's definitely not going to die as much. It's just he needs to be ready to dive the backline, so he needs to get his build online. Dod's been playing the Ganesh as well. He feels for his team. He's set up. I think he's doing pretty well. It's doing a lot better than the Ares. And then the Skadi has been doing okay, but again, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's something I've been interesting. This Scotty is not exactly made its mark. Going for this Crusher, although kind of interesting, something that really hasn't been in the meta for quite a while. Stick him though, might just be some damage there. And that is going to be the ultimate on the ground stance from Fire Fist. Gonna smash all hopes there. Kill. They aren't out of this game. They did win a fight near that giveaway. Missteps from WODL there. Egypaleyria taking advantage of it. Now they're looking for this Pyromancer. They're feeling comfortable, and it is confirmed with that ultimate I'm a Monster coming out. Egypaleyria now in the spot where they want to be, where they need to be. Burby might have gone in too far, but he's seemingly unkillable here. And beautiful. Ultimate huge. One has Corey. He needs to be careful. He might just fall towards this Scotty. The dog finished it off, but Snipe bringing through. Slither picking up a kill. A dirty fight. This might just be the fight that Egypaleyria can't afford that take. Burby is low, but is he low enough? The ultimate coming through, but he's just running down his Corey. He picks up another kill. Delayed double. He's looking for another kill on the Dozzy, and he picks it up. You need to be careful. Crush is used. Cosvet not able to do it, and a huge ultimate onto Burby. Dashing away any thoughts of a fight coming out. Egypaleyria ultimately coming out down in that fight.
Yeah, they got the Pyromancer, but then they traded 3 for it, which is definitely not worth it. And they can, WODL can now definitely set up for the Fire Giant. They can definitely try and take it if they want now. They can put themselves in a very healthy position. So, unfortunately, each player is just the loser in that fight overall. And it's going to be rough for them now, but they do have the Scylla up, she's up, and her ultimate is back up as well, so if WODL do start setting up for the FG, she can try and contest it, hopefully maybe get something with her ultimate, but we've seen before that if WODL see the Scylla, they just come off the objective entirely, or they can try and bet on the fight, because right now they're in this fight.
Oh yeah, as the Fire Giant is being pulled, looks like it's near under half on the corner. This might just go without a chance. Ultimate coming out. I'm a Monster does land a lot. Fire Giant might have been a tiny bit too late. Makaveli killing Cosvet. WODL has this Fire Giant 22 minutes in, and it looks like they're taking no prisoners. Just checking bodies, dotting the I's. Looking for the siege here. You need to be careful of your Egypaleyria, especially Bob the Bunny off in that left lane. He needs to back real soon, otherwise it looks like it's going to be a Phoenix coming out for WODL.
I mean, I can definitely see Egypaleyria just making a Hail Mary, like, hey, just base race, let's see how it goes, but yeah, no, WODL already see right through it, and they're going to try and back it back, but hopefully Egypaleyria can defend, but with WODL, Fire Giant again, it's going to be an uphill battle, but Bob the Bunny does back. He's grouping up with his team, so they are going to set up full defense. They're ditching the whole, base race idea.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Not an idea you can afford to exactly do, especially with Burpee on the huge blink coming out. Looks like Burpee being CC'd, mothered, not able to get off that rage form. He's low, but making sure that nothing can happen to cause bad. Looking for this backline, but he's taking a lot of damage. Machiavelli, he's here. Nice try picking up Fire Fist, but Machiavelli picking up Cosmet. Bob the Bunny picking up Machiavelli with Fire Giant. Waddle again having another misstep. Egypaleyria of it. Oh no, here comes Burpee. They're only a man down. They have a Fire Giant, a huge ultimate. You need to be careful if you're S4. You're low. Dozzy also low. Bob the Bunny not autoing here, not autoing Burpee. He takes the kill on Bob the Bunny. Burpee claiming another one. Slither's still up. This is gonna look like it's a Phoenix coming out for Waddle if they don't group up.
Honestly, that was tragic because each player played their defense really well there. They managed to get Burpee away, they got 2 kills, they could have backed up and just go back to base and secure, but unfortunately, they got a bit greedy, went for the 2 kills, and Burpee went, you know what, you're not going to do that, and managed to punish them for it, get the kills, and take the Phoenix, which is really unfortunate for Egypaleyria. If they just backed off after defending that Phoenix, that would have been perfectly played by them. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, real unfortunate. Phoenix falls, and ultimately Slither still has that at G, so one of the more important people to have it. Something we weren't able to touch on in game 2 that luckily did return in game number 1 was Burpee picking up this Archdruid's Fury. An item that I find quite interesting. Kind of once you take a bit of damage, when you take damage, you gain stacks, and you kind of deal. I believe it is true damage, or at least magical damage, with that next basic you throw out, which I do believe likely is good on Khonshu. God, that is going to be taking a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He's taking a lot of damage. And Kukulin is one of those gods as well that naturally basic attacks a lot. So he's going to get it in quite easily, so I think it's perfect pickup. I mean, the item is just very strong as well overall.
Yeah, very strong item. Definitely interesting. Waddle. They picked up this Pyromancer, and it's a Ozzy build. We're seeing that return of the ADCs able to pull it by themselves. I do believe with that Fire Giant, it would have been a close battle with Slither. Likely would have won out. But you need to be careful now if you're Egypaleyria. You're now 9k down. You're one misstep, and you're kind of out of the game permanently. The game is lost for you. But on the flip side, one misstep from Waddle, and Egypaleyria definitely could be in control, especially with this Fire Giant spawning. All 10 members of this game looking to come over to this Fire Giant, making sure that they don't take a singular mistake, at least the one that they can control, as all 5 of them. Waddle arguably has the better grouping. Egypaleyria, though, they've been seeming like they've been taking great fights and been capitalizing really well. Where do you think is the end to this fight for Egypaleyria?
So Waddle have definitely shown that they're very perceptive in where they're going to be, so it's not really a case of waiting for them to be on the FG, because Waddle are fine. And it's also worth knowing that Egypaleyria are very good at playing the defense now, because their comp is a lot better for defense. We saw with their Phoenix defense. So if they can somehow bait Waddle into a tight corridor where Egypaleyria's comp shines, I think that's what they want, because if they're initiating, that's where I think they're playing on the weekends. But they also need to be careful of not to just play completely back, because then if Waddle notices, they can just go, okay, we'll start Fire Giant, so you have to start on us. So they're in a very precarious situation here. If they can try and bait Waddle into a tight corridor, I think they can definitely win the fight.
Yeah, definitely good positioning coming out from Egypaleyria. People, able to do good. Fight, looking to target that ultimate. We'll see what it is, and it looks like it is that tornado on Dodgy. Bring it over, and it looks like Waddle might just be looking for an engage here. Yes, they are. Burpee comes in. He's on it. Spear Mortal Pain knocking up Bob the Bunny. Astral Barrage is used. Bob the Bunny does fall. Burpee picks up 2. Dazzy falling, but Machiavelli does fall from nice try. They need to be careful. No low health bars. Half health on head Corey. He does have that crushing wave, but nice try. Getting crushed under the weight of WODL. Machiavelli, the only one to fall, but it's not going to matter with WODL. Takes on this Fire Giant. 4 members on it. Like the only hope. Looks like it's not going to be enough. That flip. Hughes and Murphy looking to zone him out. Looks like WODL took this Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, WODL played it well, but he completely just demolished the back line, and then Machiavelli did unfortunately pass on, but honestly, it's worth it. If it's 1 for a Fire Giant in 3 of Egypaleyria, it's a fight worth taking. So now, they're probably going to take away the towers now. Yeah, they're pinging them, so they're going to try and take the towers out slowly, make their way to the Phoenixes, and just play as they have been playing the past 2 games. So, I do think Egypaleyria, again, can still defend. They've shown they can do a good defense. They just need to be very careful here.
Yeah, I do agree. They do need to be careful. They need to make sure that they don't take any missteps. And they've been doing a good job of it. I mean, sure, a slight misstep there on that Fire Giant, but what can you do? Hard to position to fight it. This Fire Giant. And this Fire Giant only recently being taken about 30 seconds ago. Still, it's young. 2 tier 2s up in a half. In a somewhat healthy Phoenix, not full health, but healthier than what it previously was, obviously. Egypaleyria, not out of this game, but with 11,000-year-old down and a Fire Giant, and now a Pyromancer, WODL definitely seem like they're in the control.
Yeah, with the Pyromancer bomb as well, that's going to be especially useful for structures. I don't think they'll use at the tower. They might say, honestly, can go out. Take these towers quite comfortably, because I really don't think each player should put up a fight in towers, because if they die, that's going to result in some more loss in my opinion. So they need to let them take the towers and set up these Phoenix defenses.
Yeah, especially with 2 bombs, which I imagine absolutely melts a Phoenix. I mean, that confirms a Phoenix being absolutely amazing. You can't let minions come in without clearing them in a bomb. Not allowed to be placed. Tornado does come out here. It's not going to lead to much. WODL playing it smart, not rushing in there immediately, and they're just playing really, really well.
Yeah, they know. So you can tell by with the way WODL are currently is that they know they can't just dive this. They know they can get punished because Egypaleyria's comp. So they're taking their time, but Machiavelli's taking it from the right lane. They're going to start a split push, see if they can take what they can whilst the team at post. It's just, again, they need to be very careful. So they're coming in, but even managed to get out. Again, they just need to take it slow. Both teams need to play this perfectly if they want to get out of this alive.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Has a bit of damage on Fire Fist. Through. Good slippery surface coming out from third. And a great play. WODL now in that fight. Garment Killer does close it off, and a Phoenix does fall after a Runic Bomb was used. Dazzy though, he's alone. He does fall. There's that peel. Bob does kill Bergen, but nice try, does fall. You need to be careful. One misstep, Bob's Bunny falls, and a huge ultimate coming out from Emilia. She has been on point with those Slither. Picks up a kill. That might just be another Phoenix coming out for WODL.
Yeah, they played it well. They managed to get 3 kills, so they should be able to take this right Phoenix quite comfortably now. Slither's been absolutely playing out his mind this game, so as long as he focuses on the Phoenix, he should be fine. Though, Fire Fist needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of poke right now, he's taking a lot of silver damage, but honestly, this could be a game right here if they take this Phoenix down and make their way to the Titan room, because I really don't think Bob the Bunny has the power to defend this Titan.
Yeah, me neither. I'm kind of curious to see what this Bomb does. That Phoenix played this falling. Only took about a minute more, 33 minutes and 23 seconds for WODL to take game number 2 and the set there. WODL playing it exactly as they would have liked there. 2 30-minute games and 2 victories for them. Definitely just the games they wanted.
Yeah, another WOD W, as they all say, but it's really unfortunate for Egypaleyria. They show signs of possibly being a better team. It's just unfortunately some funky picks have really crippled them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so for game two, we'll talk about the set in a minute. Who do you think is the game two MVP?
I think kind of the game 2 MVP with a very, very quiet performance. Amolia definitely was a backbone of this. Slither also big contender for it. Machiavelli picking up these kills, but without those 2 people behind him, it definitely seems like that there isn't much that they could have done.
I do think Amelia definitely does run for it, but if I had to pick one, I think I have to pick Slither. I
Yeah.
think Slither played the lane extremely well. There were multiple times where he could have died, but he manages to pull it back and get kills. He was hitting the ram rolls really well as well. Like he was a extremely high damage dealer for his team. And for the set MVP, I think it has to be Machiavelli.
Yeah, I feel like he had too good of a game 1 and then a really good of a game 2. You really can't say that he isn't set MVP. I feel like it's sort of that situation calling back to season 6 Worlds when you're looking at kind of there's a lot of people who really did well, and obviously when we look at it, Machiavelli just went off. I don't think I want to see him on this Ravana again. Seeing him on this. All things that they need to do. But Egypaleyria definitely a team not to scoff at, and a team to be very very quick to get their stuff together if they are able to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's unfortunate, but in their defense, though, it is season 10 where the meta's not exactly been shapen fully. Like, everyone's learning the map, everyone's learning items, what could be good, what could be bad. It's just, unfortunately, they banked on some, unfortunately, not very strong picks. Like, game one, the Raijin, like, everyone saw how that went.
Mhm.
Game two, the Hebo is a good guy. Like, Hebo is like very strong god right now. First picking it was Fenrir Open though, very questionable. And then the Skadi, it did better than I thought, but still Skadi, it still didn't do as much as you'd want other ADCs to do. As you said, I think Egypaleyria had signs of life. It's just as long as they can work in that draft phase, then they definitely have potential as a team.
Yeah, I agree. But this has been it for Panda Barash and Mitch on the cast. Albie had a great time with us on the sticks. We will see you next time for whatever our next cast has been. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you sometime.